Creepy Stories Part 2. Hannah's version.
The Hanna version?
Yeah.
Do I just like come up with the stuff all on as I go?
Yeah. I just come up
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the same beginning that Alyssa did. So, Chief, Alyssa, whenever to your friend, me, my house. Okay. I suck at this.
Just
Okay.
go. I don't care. Mine sucked.
Alyssa went over to Hannah's house for a sleepover, and I don't know if anybody else knows this, but there's a giant fucking window over there, right there.
Yep.
See, and we have a humongous backyard.
It's really creepy, actually. It's like a red glow outside. That's really creepy.
It's from the light. But they were sleeping on the floor because Hannah's 3 little brothers stole the top bunk and her little sister stole the bottom bunk. So we had nowhere to sleep but on the floor. So we put our pillows right underneath the window and we were laying there. And then we kept hearing these weird like sounds outside. It sounded like dying cats. And after the 5th time that sound had came, we went and stood up, and each of us was in one of the windows just looking outside, and there was this big weird creature. It's a big bulky bull looking thing with long fluffy hair and kitty cat ears and crocodile eyes and shark teeth and horses and a long giraffe tail and a giraffe tail outside. And whenever it screamed, it sounded like dying cats. And they saw that outside, and they went down the hallway to Hannah's mother's room and sat in there in the closet and waited. And whenever they stopped hearing the sound, they got up, went back to the room, and looked out the window.
Stop it. You're making me scared. You're making me so scared. I feel like something's about to creep up behind me.
Whenever they were in the room, sitting in front of the window, checking to see if the monster was still outside, they didn't see it. So they figured that it had gone back to hell.
Where it came from. Get your butt back where you came from, monster!
But
Okay.
they slowly inched closer to the window, and the weird beast was on the roof. The weird beast was on the roof, and they heard the thumps across the roof whenever it was walking because it had giant pterodactyl wings. And it flew up on the roof.
Add in wings.
Yeah, let's add some wings. And it flew up on the roof, and it slowly walked across the roof, so it sounded like
horses.
pretty much.
Because it had horse hooves.
Pretty much.
That's
Slowly.
what you said!
Okay! Slowly walking across the roof. And they were sitting next to the box, which was in the windowsill. In a minute!
Box.
This is so real life, though.
I know, right?
And they heard the thumps across the roof. And they sat next to the box so they could, like, sit around behind the box, but, like, peek out through the window. And Alyssa had stood up and was, like, standing in front of the window. And the thing jumped off the roof and was, like, flying in front of the window. It had big, red, glowing crocodile eyes. And in the cartoons, you know how whenever the bulbs breathe, you can see the smoke coming out of their nose?
Mm-hmm.
It had that smoke coming out of its nose, like it was about to breathe fire or something. And she screamed like a little girl and ran.
Because I'm scared. I get scared so easily. It's so
I know,
true.
I meant to scare my little sister, and scared the shit out of her.
Oh my god, no, she was literally like across the room and she like jumped out and screamed and she screamed and then I screamed. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Good times, good times.
Well, Alyssa had screamed and ran into the living room. And me being me, if someone else screams and runs, I'm gonna scream and run. So I screamed, jumped up, ran, followed her into the living room, and then sitting on the couch and like calling our moms and stuff. But they thought we were completely crazy. But whenever
Because
my mom,
we are.
exactly. Whenever my mom came home, she pulled up in the driveway, and like we could see her headlights through the window, but like we could hear the car doors open and close, and then like the footsteps across the gravel. And Hannah was like, "Oh shit!" And then all of a sudden you hear like groceries drop, and then dying cat scream, and then whoosh, like flying through the sky. Whoosh.
I don't know if I got that.
And then the car alarm went off. Like, have you ever like?
Yes.
The car doors
Okay.
go
Shut up. I know. Everybody knows that.
The car alarm went off, and my mom never came inside. My mom never came inside. And her cell phone had fallen on the roof, and the way it fell, it started playing music. So it was like some kind of weird screamo song.
Oh my god.
On the roof.
It would be way creepier if it was classical. Like, oh,
My mom doesn't listen to classical. She listens to screamo.
Cool.
Yeah. But it was a creepy screamo song by some band that was old. Like Spike These Thighs or something.
Or Metallica.
Or Metallica.
Or the Beastie Boys.
Def Leppard. That's a really old band. My great grandma used to listen to them.
Or fucking
It was
Madonna.
Spike These Thighs, which is a really loud screamo song, and it's gross. And we sat in the living room on the floor, like in the middle, and we were like just eating cereal, watching Netflix, curled up in little blankets or whatever, just like slowly having very small panic attacks in the living room. And then the sun started to come up, and we went out. We went back to the window and looked out. We could see everything in the yard. Nothing. Like, there was no monster. And then we went outside and, like, checked the sky and make sure the weird beastie thing wasn't flying around anywhere. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, whoosh, there goes my mom just falling out of nowhere from freaking outer space or somewhere. And she goes through the trees, like, because the trees break her fall or whatever. And she lands on her feet. And she's like, and then she passes out because, no, my mom, she's probably passed out. If she was abducted by some kind of weird creature, she probably passed out. But she passed out. I mean, Alyssa ran over there, and we dumped a bucket of ice and water all over her. So we dumped a bucket of ice cold water on her face. She woke up, and we told her that it was nothing but a dream. And Hannah and Alyssa acted like it never happened. And Hannah and her mom drove Alyssa home and all that other shiz. Then life went on. And every year, at least the second time, each year, the second time Alyssa stayed at Hannah's house, the weird beast would come back. Only once a year, the second time, they had a sleepover. So, the first time they had a sleepover, they could plan what they would do to stay away from the beast.